Welcome to episode 31 of Consistent Creator in a mini 3-part series talking about when should you take money out of your business or when should you reinvest it. Now, the 3 parts are, number 1, it'll depend on what stage of the business you're at. Part 2 is going to determine about the future vision that you have for the company. And then part 3 is going to talk about part 3 is going to talk about your actual lifestyle as an executive. So let's get right into it. Part 1, the state of the business. Now, depending on where you're at in your business, it's going to determine how you feel about it. So whether you're in the startup, are you in the foundation stage, are you in growth and expansion, or are you in maturation? So startup mode, you just came up with an idea for the business and you decide to get off the ground. Now, at the startup phase, you're the most vulnerable because you haven't really built a brand yet. You haven't really got into getting good at marketing. You haven't really built a strong network, and you're more than likely don't have a strong track record when it comes to advertising. So what a lot of founders, or some founders and some executives do at the early stages of the startup phase is that they become fundraisers, really what Gary Vee talks about. They become fundraisers. So they have money in a bank account, but they usually use it more on their own personal, expenses than on the business. Which, especially in the startup phase, you definitely want to, practice delayed gratification. But a lot of founders and a lot of executives have a hard time doing that. The second phase is the foundation. So now that you done got out of the startup phase, you done survived, 2 to 3 years. Now you built a strong foundation. You kind of built a brand. Now you're getting there. Once again, I still recommend that you delay taking out money. But like I said, that's just me personally. I know some people, you might have been like, well, I come from humble beginnings. That was one of the main reasons why I started the business in the first place, was for money. Now that I have a little bit of money, I want to, share in the success. But I think it's a little too early, and you really want to focus on compounding that success instead of, trying to take advantage of it right now. The third phase is when you growth and expansion, which is when you're expanding. Now, you may even say, well, all right, Joe, cool. Step 3, level 3, I could definitely do it now. We're growing, we're expanding, and that growth and that expansion that we have, it should be able to help me get a nicer house or a nicer car or whatever it is that I want, because we're growing. So what's one toy? I always tell people, if you do something once, it's easy for you to do it over and over and over again, because we're creatures of habit, and you get conditioned to, having that thing, and now you want the next one and the next one and the next one, especially if you come from humble beginnings, like a lot of us do. So, and then the last stage is maturation, where, you're a mature business, you've been around for a while, you've been around for a couple of decades, or your financial stability is very strong. So it could be a company like Facebook or a company like YouTube that's been around for less than 20 years, but it's already a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and the executives do a good job at managing that. So it's very unlikely that they're going to go out of business. Now, for me, because I also believe in that delayed gratification, so out of those 4 stages, I really don't have a lot for materialistic stuff. Yeah, I like nice stuff too, but depending on the stage of the business, which, like I said, in the next installment when we're talking about the future vision, I would really hold out as long as I possibly can. So I might start a business, and I may not even treat myself for the first 5 or 10 years to get everything up and going, because I want this business to be able to be profitable, number one, and then, for me to be able to, to provide me with a nice salary or nice dividends or withdrawals later on down the line. but I'm not going to try to take it out too premature. And that's what a lot of founders and executives go wrong, is that when they start these companies, they immediately want to put it out. And I agree with Gary Vaynerchuk when he says a lot of times it's just insecurity. Your business going, and you think that, okay, well, it was better than when I first started it. So in the startup phase, that's the whole reason a lot of times when they get caught up in this startup and this fundraising stuff, instead of actually doing old school business to business where you solve a problem or want or a need, and then that customer, that client provides, the form of monetary compensation in exchange for a product, a good, or a service. But nope, everybody want to be fundraiser entrepreneurs and go out and raise all this VC money, which really you don't understand is you really become an employee, no matter if you're the founder or not. Because the VCs are the ones that really control the company, because they the one who have the equity. They have the most equity. And most VCs, they have their own agenda, and they're going to kick you out anyway. So, like I said, you just really became an employee. But that's my take on it. What do you guys think? You think it's okay to take money out in the startup phase, or should an executive or an employee wait maybe till they get to the foundation stage where they become a little bit more stable, or should they wait until the business is growing and expanding, or should you say no, they should wait till the company is fully mature and everything is set in stone, and then they can really cherish and their success. Thank you for watching another video. I look forward to seeing another one. Simmons out.